Gone on with our church hymnal took place in 1985. B.B. Beach presented the Pope with a medal in 1976. And even before that, in a 1974-1975 lawsuit in which Ted's father represented the North American division, the following was entered as evidence. And this was, it didn't come from Neil Wilson's lips, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it was entered as evidence in the lawsuit. Quote, although it, and this is the top, this is the leadership of the Seventh-day Adventist Church entering a document in a court of the United States, okay? Although it is true that there was a period in the life of the Seventh-day Adventist Church when the denomination took a distinctly anti-Roman Catholic viewpoint, that attitude on the church's part was nothing more than a manifestation of widespread anti-popery among conservative Protestant denominations in the early part of this century, that was the 20th, and the latter part of the last, and which has now been consigned to the historical trash heap as far as the Seventh-day Adventist Church is concerned. That's Neil C. Wilson, past president of the Seventh-day Adventist General Conference, father of Ted Wilson, in a court transcript of the United States versus the Seventh-day Adventist Church Equal Employment Opportunity Commission versus the Pacific Press Publishing Association, etc., etc., etc. Now, years after this, I was accosted by one of the General Conference's lawyers in an elevator in San Francisco. There was another lawsuit going on, and I wanted to be there myself to hear some of the pleadings for myself. And coming down that elevator, the lawyer did not like the fact that in Indianapolis in 1990, we had distributed a copy of the transcript that I just quoted to you on the streets of Indiana. He didn't like it, and he threatened me. His tone was not nice. I would be hearing from them, he assured me. And he went on to say that Elder Wilson never uttered that statement. He said it was uttered by Elder Wilson's lawyers. Well, I'm happy for that distinction, coming from one of the lawyers of the General Conference. At least now we know. But if it was entered as evidence in a lawsuit by the leader or representing the NAD, Neil C. Wilson, the time to have challenged it, the time to have repudiated it was in that courtroom, not in an elevator with me and trying to convince me that Neil Wilson didn't do it. It was entered by his lawyers. The man should have at least read it because it was coming out under his name.